Hi Cancer, this is your forecast for the month of September 2017. If you have visited me before, I want to thank you for returning, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. This is a general reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, or Cancer Moon. It might also be helpful for you to watch your rising and moon sign as well. You can join me on Facebook and Instagram for daily insights on tarot and astrology, as well as my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/thealchemistastrologer, and look for my on-demand page for love, finance, and other readings. All right, Cancer. So this first week, you're dealing with earth energy. This could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female. It could be a young person that you're dealing with, or it could just be the energy of the earth signs. So this could be a week where you're getting some type of news, especially with regard to your business plans or your physical health. For some of you, there's going to be a small advantage for some type of gain. So maybe you get a job offer this week, or you're new in some position, or you're doing some training. But this is going to be a focus on, a new project, or the opportunity to make some money, or the condition of your possessions or your property, or learning something, perhaps following directions or instructions with regard to something. So for some of you, there is an element of unpredictability within a situation, or someone is unavailable, or something is unavailable. This is a page, so this is, the lesser of the court cards. So this is the exploratory stage of something. And it's possible that there is a mistake being made as to whether something is more stable or more committed than it really is. Now, in some cases, you are connecting with somebody because of some shared financial efforts being made. For others of you, you're putting some things off as far as your personal life or romantic life because you're very focused on your financial responsibilities, or you're very busy with your career. So for you, this is about seeing something tangible with regard to your efforts. So this is going to be a week where you're very conscientious about something. You're looking for the value of things. You value the good things in life. You're opening yourself up to learning, or you're being very practical or dutiful. You're hardworking. For some of you, this is about, being a reliable friend, or being very serious in your efforts, whether that is to learn or to do some research, or to, focus on the value of something. For some of you, this is going to be a week that ties back to maybe, the root of something, your heritage, your ancestors, your bloodline, your family. And it could be that you're looking at something that has moved on. Maybe this is, for some of you, you may be getting some spirit messages. Somebody from your past, or someone that has crossed over, may be connecting to you in some way. So pay attention to any signs or signals or omens. Now, for, in the mundane, this is some type of turning point for you. You're getting more involved, you're networking, you're getting out into the community, and this, your social life is on the uptick. And that's going to be very rewarding for you when you make these community connections. For others of you, you are, connecting with your partner in a way where you're looking to build a future, something more permanent. You want to establish something. In the negative, this is about, maybe too much networking. Maybe you're looking over the fence at what your neighbor has, and that could be as far as relationships too. You're looking, you're putting your feelers out there to go outside of your relationship. But this is not likely to give you the satisfaction that you're seeking. So this is going to be a week where you are focused again on gaining some type of advantage. And in the negative, this is about somebody possibly getting in other people's affairs, or wasting time, or wasting money, squandering your efforts. So you have to make sure that this is a week where you're very grounded, that you're not being financially foolish or immature or irresponsible. And again, knowing the true value of something, whether that's a relationship, the energy you're expending, the money that you're spending, and whether you're getting something back on your return. Now, the second week, you have this Ten of Swords, and so perhaps you got some bad news, or there's news of an ending or an illness, or maybe you've been working on something and you just bottomed out. Whatever it is, you're at the end of some type of cycle, and it's likely that whatever you're experiencing, either you got this news of some kind of loss that seemed rather severe to you, or, again, there's an illness, or maybe you've been going through something for a very long time. And again, if this is about spirit messages, this could be news from someone, again, who has crossed over, this connection to somebody who is no longer in this physical plane. But more than likely, you're feeling some sense of personal defeat, a sense of failure, or closure of some sort. Maybe there's a separation, or you're understanding that it's time to let go of something. Whatever it is, there's a feeling of distress attached to this, some type of hardship, whether it is financial or medical or otherwise. There's something that feels very serious. The end of a situation is taking place. For some of you, this is a surprise factor this week, some unexpected news that you've gotten that may connect to the past, or some encounter. Or you may realize you're just at the end of the road on something, and that you need to make some changes and open yourself up to some new possibilities. And maybe you got some good news last week. Maybe there's a new job offer, or you want to go in a new direction, and you're having to close out something this week in order to pursue that. Whatever it is, it may feel as if one of two things: either everything is just really taking off and happening too quickly, or that you're at a complete standstill and nothing is moving at all. And you may feel bottomed out because you're carrying too much weight on your shoulders. You feel as if you're responsible for everything, and that's just not so. It's working against you physically. Now, the good news is that when you look at this card, although there are 10 swords stuck in his back, so there could be issues of betrayal, or feeling stabbed in the back, or bottoming out, you're feeling like a victim. On the horizon, those clouds are clearing out. You can see the sky showing up again. And so, again, you're at the end of a cycle. And you may be right on the horizon of the success. Maybe you've been dealing with something for a long, long time, and finally those clouds are about to clear. And so you're going to have to get things in perspective. Even if you have suffered a loss or some kind of setback, this is not the moment to quit. This is the dark before the dawn. So getting your attitude in check and getting in gear is what's going to, create success for you. You're going to have to confront a situation rather than bury your head in the sand. So whatever duties, whatever responsibilities that you need to attend to, this is the week where you need to get on top of those. Don't get stuck in your thoughts or feeling like you've been victimized. This is the time for you to take a second look at a situation. You probably know more now than you did before. So you can see, what needs correcting. And this is going to make it easy for you to make some changes. There were some things you didn't know before, but now you've got some experience that is going to allow you to come up with an action plan to move forward. And now, because of what you know, you may even move farther ahead than you had originally hoped for or anticipated in the beginning. But for others of you, if you let this mindset get the better of you, you're going to have a hard time getting remotivated, jump-starting your situation and redirecting yourself, because you may have lost your orientation. You don't know what your sense of purpose is anymore. You're lacking ambition. You don't know which direction to move in. And it's largely because you're just ready to throw in the towel. You think, this is game over, and you're going to close some doors and burn some bridges and just call it a day because it didn't play out the way you thought it did. Or I'm sorry, the way you wanted it to. But again, this is about getting your attitude in check, being a survivor, and moving forward. So, you're going to have to pick yourself up and get moving. Now, the third week, you have this Four of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, there's a connection to a Capricorn person. This could be a week that focuses on connections to your finances. Maybe you're involved with bankers or financial institutions or wealthy people or conservative people. For some of you, you're being very frugal this week. You're worrying a whole lot about money, and maybe, again, you got some news. Maybe you bottomed out your account, or you're, feeling overburdened by something. And this is a week where, you're trying to hold tight to a position. Maybe you're trying not to rock the boat, or you're trying to keep things just the same. But your financial security, your ownership of something, trying to gain money or get some kind of guarantee or protect yourself in some way is going to be very important to you this week. You may even be hoarding something. You can't relax. You can't let go. You're being overcautious. Now, in the positive, this is about business. You're looking for business opportunities, and your focus is on getting some type of success, some type of recognition. And so you're taking a look at where you are security-wise, whether that is financially or it is emotionally. So you're looking at, whether you've been too tight. Are you too stingy, or are you too free with what you have? Your emotions, your time, your talents, your material resources, your possessions. So this card says that, you're going to have to make some choices this week. Now, in the positive, again, this is about exploring other opportunities. And so if you had gotten an offer, it's possible that this whatever you're researching or whatever's on the table could be better for you. So this is a week for you to look for new prospects, look for better employment, look for ways to make financial gains. And in doing so, you have to be realistic. This is a week for you to be practical and grounded and see things for what they are, see people for what they are in your situation. And that's going to deepen your connections with other people and the things that you care about. Now, for some of you, you're going to feel victimized because you've gotten some news, maybe business or health, and you're having to take on things that don't belong to you. Now you're carrying everybody's burden. And this could have happened like in the blink of an eye. You're taking on somebody else's load. Or something is going on at your job or in the work environment, and you realize this is not going well at all, and I really need to look after myself. You need to make sure that you're taken care of, that you're secure, that you have a contingency plan, that there's a plan B. For some of you, it's your own personal thing that's creating the issue, something emotional or medical of your own that you weren't expecting that you're having to deal with. But for others of you, that 10 of Swords is about a mentality that you've taken on as a victim. And now you're overly protective of yourself. And so you've got a lot of self-concern, excessive self-awareness, to the point where you can't even see things clearly anymore. It's difficult for you to be objective. And now everything, is larger than life. Everything is very intense, and so you keep that self-defeating habit of feeling as if you're a victim, or if you can't do something, that keeps you stuck in this situation. So you may have to think about focus on your value system. You may have to think about what it is that you're trying to hold on to, whether that's a person, a situation, a possession, and is it worth it? Is it really bringing you the satisfaction and fulfillment that you thought it would? Or are you just working to hang on to it? Does it hold the value that you think it does, or is it actually costing you more than it's worth? So this is a week to look at ways in which you are burdening yourself because you're trying too hard for something. Either you're trying too hard to avoid something, or your goals are so high and you're really trying hard to accomplish those. So this may be a week for some of you where you decide to stop struggling and accept a situation for whatever it is. Now, the last week you have the 10 of Wands. And so this is a very heavy month where there are issues of feeling victimized or burdened or overworked. Maybe you're working yourself to death. Maybe, you're working on your property. You've tapped out your resources. So you're at the end of some very important cycles. And so this could be a week where you've been pushing yourself really hard, maybe taking on a lot, and you're starting to wear down physically, especially if you were dealing with some kind of illness or emotional situation. This is a week that should be focusing on some kind of renewal, a new beginning, to revitalize yourself and perhaps do some healing, whether that's financially, physically, or emotionally. Now, there could be some resistance on your part to that. Some of you may be moving something, and it could be something heavy, and you end up having some back pain or some physical issues because of that. But this is going to be a week that deals with your physical strength, your endurance level, physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, because this is a week where you're at a crossroads and you're going to have to be realistic about what you can take on, whatever that is. More work, more responsibilities, more pressure, more stress. Can you do it? Now, for some of you, you're going to have opportunities to make some changes that would be better for you. If you're not resistant to that. Again, another week where you could very well blow things out of proportion, and, there's just a lot of intensity to situations, or you're dealing with people who are doing that. So for some of you, it's the emotional intensity that's weighing on you, and it's creating, more of an issue than the external itself. So your attitude, your mindset, the way you're approaching a situation or the way you're dealing with life is actually the issue and not the life situation itself. Now, this week provides you the opportunity again to make some changes in the way you work, the way you operate, the way you think, that could make some improvements for you if you're willing to let go. We go back to that Four of Pentacles and holding on so very tightly, holding on for dear life. If you loosen up just a little bit, if you let go, if you give some things up, maybe delegate or give up some things you don't need, some situations that aren't good for you, some relationships that aren't good for you, then you make room for something better to come in. It doesn't have to be that you're seeking something. It's just that space that you open up allows something good to show up for you. For others of you, this is going to be a week of resistance where you want to stay stuck. You want to be married to that victim thinking, and you're not moving forward. And maybe you're thinking that you're more capable than you really are, and you're taking on a whole lot. And ultimately, you have to come to terms with that you are human, that you can only do just so much. And you're going to end up having to break some promises or let some people down because you overextended yourself in some way. So this, again, is a week about having mind control. If you're pessimistic or you're apprehensive about something, you're gonna, spin some propaganda for yourself and misconstrue some facts and create more problems in your mind than really exist at all. Now, the underlying energy is this Fool card. So it's time for you this month to move into a new direction. You're closing out some cycles. Those 2 tens says something is ending. And up until this point, perhaps the Four of Pentacles indicates that you've been trying to not rock that boat. You want to keep things just the same, and you've been holding on because there's a lot of intensity for things to stay just so. But the Fool is encouraging you to take that leap of faith into the unknown. This is a period of new chances, a fresh start, new opportunities, and you're going to have to make some important decisions. And if you put your mind to it, you may come up with some surprising solutions for yourself. But this is time for change, and it could be some significant and unexpected circumstances that occur that are pushing you toward gaining some greater freedom by entering a new phase of life, by removing any biases that you have and trusting with faith that your risk is going to work out. So you may have to leave behind your past in order to do that. Now, you're not meant to just do that without putting in your thought process, using your common sense and your intuition. And the Four of Pentacles says, that you need to be very practical about how you're looking at something. So this is taking a risk based on facts, based on common sense, based on realistic goals. So whether or not you were even planning on it, because you are closing out some cycles, you are getting ready to open up some new chapter in your life. And you're going to get a chance to make some progress by opening yourself up to some possibilities, by cautiously expanding your world. And it seems that you're ready for that. You're tired of where you are. You've bottomed out on your situation, and you're ready to take on more responsibility for what makes you happy. So some of you, again, you're going to look for a new job. Maybe you're going to move house, or you're going to make some changes, whatever those may be. Maybe you're going to start some kind of study program or relationship. For some of you, it's going to be right for you to end those things. But you are going to experience the new, a new you, and you're going to have new confidence because of that. Some of you, you're going to do some travel. Maybe you're going to meet some new people that are going to be important for your future. So this is a time, if you're willing, you can put some new plans in motion. If you let go of something old, you can get something new. So this is a great time for you to connect to others, for you to introduce yourself, make new friendships, establish new acquaintances, reconnect with people if that's necessary, and connect with people who can push you forward, who can open some doors for you. Now, again, some of you are going to be stuck. You're resistant to making these changes. You don't want to move forward. Maybe you have a fear because you're very concerned about security. You know, Cancers are very territorial. They're very possessive, and security means everything. You rule the house of home. It's the base of the chart. It's that place where you want to feel safe. And so you very much need that. And sometimes it can be difficult for you to open that shell in order to take the risk. And so you may be fooling yourself about something. If you don't listen to your intuition, you may be deceiving yourself, and maybe you're even putting your effort in the wrong place, and you're working too hard in the wrong way, and you're getting exploited because of it. And so you may be trying to impress the wrong people, or maybe you're going out of your way to save somebody, especially if you're taking on some other people's obligations that don't belong to you. You may be trying to save them, and that's really not your role. So this is a month for you to be mindful of letting your impatience get the better of you, being over optimistic, taking that leap without putting in your due diligence. This is going to be a month where you are very focused on you. You want to get ahead. You want to make some gains. You want to achieve something. But in that process, you have to make sure that you're not operating with a tunnel vision where you don't see anybody else and you don't acknowledge their needs or their feelings. So this is about, taking a risk, but not being foolish. Knowing that it's necessary for you to do things in a different way, but being realistic in what the return may be, not being overly optimistic or irresponsible, or not having the foresight to see what could happen. Some of you are going to be dealing with some unexpected problems, and for some of you there's a lack of follow through because you're stuck in a rut and you're lacking perspective, and it's causing you to make some poor decisions. Now again, this is all going to be motivated by your sense of belonging, your personal security, the belief in your decisions, and trying to create some type of solid foundation for yourself. And it's also going to connect to your desire for recognition. What do you do to achieve the success that you want? And there is an element of conclusion, finality to a situation, and probably some influence of the group versus the individual. Now, there's not a lot of feeling happening. There's a lack of emotion, or perhaps a lack of insensitivity within the situation, or somebody's being just very logical. There's only one major card, and that is this Fool. And so the Fool holds a lot of importance for you. So this is about, again, taking a risk, but not being impractical. So you're weighing up your options this month and looking over something. What is better for you? What you're getting out of something. And for some of you, you're having to juggle your finances, or you're juggling multiple responsibilities and obligations. And some of you are having to make a very important decision, and you have two options before you, two choices, perhaps two opportunities. And again, whatever it is, there's some kind of lasting impact, either for better or worse. It's going to center around either some kind of promises that have been made, either on your part or the part of others, or perhaps some kind of invitation to something. Maybe you're doing some traveling. Whatever it is, there is a situation where somebody is trying to take control of a situation. Maybe they're throwing a temper tantrum, or they're putting their foot down about something. But somebody's not paying attention. They're not recognizing that, and maybe they're rebelling against that bossiness. That's the response. They don't want that. This is a month for you to make sure that whatever plans you have are built on strong foundations. Somebody is afraid of change. Now, that could be you or another person, and then maybe there's an issue. It could even be, small change. Somebody's resistant to technology or social media or doing something a particular way. They don't want to do anything new. They don't want to try new ideas. They want to stick to what's traditional, what's conservative, the tried and true. They don't want to step out of the comfort zone. And so this is about possibly somebody that's much more comfortable being practical rather than philosophical. This is somebody that needs the proof. They need to see it to believe it. For some other people, this is going to be a need to, stop something from getting out of control, to take charge of something because somebody really doesn't understand how it works. For others of you, again, this issue of being victimized or pressured or bullied into making a decision that you're not comfortable making. Could be issues, again, of insensitivity, or somebody who's under a tremendous amount of pressure and they're trying not to give into it, trying not to buckle under it, and they want to remain true to their own course. They're being pressured to move in another direction, but they want to stay their course. But in doing so, they're having to pay this very high emotional price for that. For some of you, and I hope not, this could be somebody that's staying with somebody who is abusive. And for others of you, this is about, again, some self-inflicted burdens where you're trying to prove something to yourself. And once you end up doing it, you feel like it really wasn't worth it in the end. All right, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.